Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I am Lily and today I'm going to rewrite my review on Steam about Ancient Cities. I will make an audio review at the same time as I'm posting it on Steam. I have played since May 2021 and at the time of writing the original review I had played 60 hours in comparison to my now almost 9,000 hours. I have looked for a game like this for so long, and when I realized that Ancient Cities was based on realistic conditions and only correct historical content, I quickly became addicted. I wanted to help the development team out by providing my feedback about the gameplay and its authenticity from my point of view, from my insight and my knowledge, with what I like, vetted of course by what history had taught us, controversially or not. The developers had a dream. They wanted to combine their interest of gaming with their interest of history and archaeology. So here we are, a game in development, still got a way to go and still need more content and fixes for some players to be happy with it. Yet there are plenty of challenges or relaxation options for any gamer who do enjoy these types of games. Both easy and hardcore with realistic conditions, so it is a completely playable release and in my opinion well worth the money, and a game all with this interest can and do enjoy. One of the things that has made me wish to keep providing feedback and doing videos to help the community is the passion of the developers. They are not doing this for money, they are following their dream and they are very open to the player community. They are always adjusting based on community feedback where they can and always take the time to respond to the posts and questions any of the players have. I have never seen any development team more communicative with the community, and I find this very attractive in a development team. The devs are constantly working on improving the quality of both the gaming experience and also adding content features to the game, and always with community feedback in mind. Here is what I love about the game and what it gives me. I love the graphics. They are to die for. They are so beautiful. The sun, the moon, the night sky, how you can see the skies creating shadows moving along on the ground as the day goes by. The reflections in the water, it is just so beautiful. There is no end to the game. You can play forever, hard or easy, Mesolithic or Neolithic or even a mix. Everything goes. I love creating projects and push limits. This game allows me to do this like no other game does, and I have tried many survival and strategy games since the early 2000s. I like that it's a realistic game. Everything in the game is 100% authentic and based on research and history of the Atlantic Europe during the Mesolithic and the Neolithic timelines. I like that you can use logic in many areas of the game, including how people behave. I can relate to and understand the artificial intelligence behavior most of the time. This is the only game that has the environment so precisely done, both temperatures, planting, season, circle of life for flora, fauna and even nutritional value. The geography is implemented with the help of satellites and calculations from the timelines in the game. Granted, some stuff are lacking, but we get new stuff all the time, like rivers, plants, trees, food types and animals, and more is added. Every update has something added that fills the game more and more. We get tons of options of how to play the game. Fast, slow, normal, easy, normal, hard, lots of food, little food, happy tribe, angry tribe, warm climate, cold climate, medium climate, so many options. And here is what I think that still needs to be done. Optimization. There are some optimization issues still, especially in larger tribes on high speed, but the developers are working on this non-stop, so I will not be impatient, but I will wait till it has been sorted. It is not hindering me to do what I want to do in the game, nor is it ruining my gameplay. And if you watch any of my videos with huge tribes, you will see I have no issues with the optimization, unless I have many hundred people in my tribe with a ton of objects built when playing full speed. Granted, my PC is very good, so for those who do struggle with optimization issues, I hear you, but hang in there as the devs are working very hard on it. Knowledge. Knowledge loss is still needing to be tweaked some more, especially for small tribes. I have made videos on how to keep up the knowledge in small tribes, especially the Mesolithic ones. But they all demand some micromanagement play, which is not everybody's cup of tea, nor is it the developer's cup of tea either. So there will hopefully and perhaps likely be some tweaks to this in the future. At times, old people die with their skills following them, so we can lose the entire knowledge, even though we have built the objects from this knowledge for many years. This also needs to be sorted a bit better to avoid this. It is logic that working with knowledges for years should not cause any loss of the knowledge as long as people are using it with regular intervals. Devs have tweaked this a lot based on community feedback, but we still have events where this happens, so I am expecting more tweaks as time goes by for this issue. This is also an area where the community can give their views on how to best avoid this issue. The devs always note down all ideas and suggestions. Tutorial, food management, and AI behavior. Many new players struggle with the food management, and in 95% of the cases I have taken care of, it has been down to not knowing the game and its mechanic details. And in all cases, I have managed to help players recover their tribe with just some minor information that could not be found anywhere, but that I learned from the game as time went by. This is understandably causing a lot of frustration among the newer players and also some of the older players, especially in areas where the in-game tutorial is not covering enough of the information players will need in various situations to avoid, for instance, famine. Some players, however, are having issues due to not reading the tutorial or understanding it. The game wants you to learn stuff by yourself as well as being guided by the tutorials. I personally find this enticing and very attractive, while others find it detrimental. I accept we are all different, and I do wish for players to be able to make this choice themselves, either by reading a fully in-depth tutorial on all concepts and hidden events, or not, as it may be. Some famine creating issues has been tweaked to help the new players, so we do not need to worry about people dying from starvation in front of the dryers that are packed with food. Devs are also working on the tutorial, both the in-game one and the guided tutorial. I am testing this as we speak, and I think this new tutorial will help a lot, but it is a work in progress and will be filled out with more details as time goes by. At times the tribe acts a little bit helpless. When starving, they do not go find any food in the wild like any one of us would do, and that all our ancestors would do, but they die in front of a rosehip bush. This has been on the forums many times and is still something I personally find illogical. There is, however, such a high risk of exploitation here that I can understand devs wanting food gathering to be 100% player controlled. And besides, if we have everything automated without any input from players, the game will basically play itself and we will be bored. Well, at least I will be dreadfully bored, and so will many others. Basically, in this area, the game cannot please everyone at the same time. It just is not viable. But I do think there is a way that this can perhaps be solved by allowing AI to search out food themselves when close to dying. However, the cost of this needs to be so high that players will not wish this to be the norm, but the exception. There are also some minor things that irks me at times. For instance, that meat on animals decays so much overnight. It is such a waste, and I really hope the devs will minimize it much more, or make sure all meat is taken back to camp before it starts decaying on the animal. I also do not like that a parent leaves a child behind in the tribe when they themselves are leaving. Nobody would ever do that. Or a child leaving the tribe barely out of their diapers. It's just not right. So this also does need to be looked into, either to find a compromise or a solution. We already have the collateral effect of more family leaving due to someone else leaving in the family and so on, but it is often down to grades of traits and willpower. I would like any parent to always be much more reluctant to leave the tribe when they have kids. And I also don't want any kids to leave the tribe on their own with immediate effect. How are they going to survive on their own? For example, in 10k BC, this is just not realistic. I hope and wait for a solution that makes more sense. Last but not least, content. We still lack things. Many suggestions and ideas have been noted down by the devs. I want caves, I want cats, I want boats, fishing nets, slaves, sacrifices to the gods, tribe choosing tribe leader either via merit, in combat and or diplomacy. I want crabs, I want elks, reindeer eggs and birds. I want domestic sheep and geese, cloth making, blacksmiths, more food types, recipes, dangerous animals, diseases, food poisoning, internal tribe conflicts and solving. A spit for roasting wild boars. I want more types of housing, other types of housing, more buildings, both for religion, work and social, the ability to cook by the fireplace, domestic dogs, horse riding, medicine men, priests, more burial options, more religious options, exploration options, ability to build several camps in your locality for both hunting, trading and raiding, tribal feuds, tribal diplomacy, more tools, weapons and materials, knowledge sharing between tribes, wife and husband swapping, more love showing between tribes people in actions and thoughts, in-game chat options with other players who is playing the game, online guilds joining alliances to beat other players both by war and by achievements and wonder building, choice to play player versus player wars or simply play in peace. So many things we can have in the game. Not all my wants will be granted, but some will. And I am patient. Things are coming bit by bit and I will wait for it. I think the game is worth it. Some of the implementations need some more filling out as well, such as trading and raiding. There are areas where some of the content seem lacking for my taste. I would like to see more of the interactions, the fighting, the negotiating, just basically see the other tribes, their village from inside and so on. I would also like to have more goods to choose from to trade or raid, including livestock and also common materials. I would also love to be able to domesticate our own animals in the map as well. I know future DLCs and implementations to the base game will bring a lot of new stuff that we all want to the game, and I think the first DLC to come is going to be about the Ice Age. I will patiently await it. The game as it is now is not for the more impatient players who wants and needs more content to keep the interest up, but to those I wish to say, as a player to another player, please do not leave bad reviews after just a short time played. I'm not asking you to take down the moon, just try to not cloud it with demanding a game we all know still has a way to go before reaching its potential and promise. Even though the game is released and hence free for all to post reviews, please consider to wait posting reviews till you feel it is more likely to be judged by your taste rather than frustration over that they are not done with absolutely everything in the game. They did the trailer showing all future plans for DLCs and implementations after base game. Keyword here being after. Granted, they are late. I am not going to argue that. But base game is done and fully playable as promised. They are keeping their promise bit by bit, and now they are working on implementations, fixes and changes and also DLCs with other cultures and whatnot. We all know by now that as time goes by it will become a fuller and richer game. More and more will be added, just like it has for the past years, both from already planned content that will come from implementations of new and promised cultures, but also implementations to the base game coming from the player community. The game will have these implementations and downloadable contents added in steady streams throughout if people want to have it. More content will be added, more of what the community asks for will be added, as long as it belongs to the correct timeline and is historically correct. All suggestions and ideas are always welcomed by the developers. Things will not be added by the tons every week. It will be bit by bit. They are only 1.5 programmers working very hard to fulfill their dream. But if the game sells well, they have said that they are likely going to expand their team. I think they have done a marvelous job so far. So if you are impatient and want everything in the world in one go, then you can choose to wait with buying or playing the game, and certainly with leaving any bad reviews. If you are unhappy with the game, tribe dying from starvation, people leaving in droves, etc., please come to the forums and ask for help before leaving any bad reviews. There will always be other players around to guide you and to help you. I recommend all who enjoy realistic survival games to take a chance on this game. If you already play and enjoy this game but have not left a review, please do so, and it will help the game tremendously. Include what you like about the game and also what you feel it lacks. Give your suggestions and ideas as well to both issues and things you would like to see in the game. I will be right here for as long as I'm needed and wanted to help out both the developers and the player community with feedback to the developers, tutorials and otherwise playthroughs for the ones in the gaming community that is interested. Thank you so much for your time.